Hello everybody, welcome to the Daily Brick. My name is Nick, and today we're looking at set number 40424, Winter Snowball Fight. This set comes with 2 minifigures and a bunch of side builds that are all uniquely built in their own cool little way. I actually really like this set. I think that there are some really cool play features as simple as they are. There are some really good inclusions of different pieces. I love the Husky inclusion right there. The Husky is always a good piece to get. Normally only coming out in the Arctic line of Lego City. I feel like we don't really get a whole lot of Huskies anymore, so I think to get one of these in this set right here is pretty dang cool. We do again have 2 minifigures, so there are 2 little kids in here and they are just having fun with their snow day, and this is pretty dang awesome. Like I said, there are a bunch of different side builds here, so we are going to get into each one individually. We're actually going to start with the Snowman there in the back. Starting with the Snowman build, this is a pretty chunky snowman. You do use one of these 4x4 circular bricks down here at the bottom, and that is definitely something that hinders its ability to be more of a snowman looking, but it honestly looks pretty on par with a real snowman, the way that you make them when you roll that bottom chunk, and it usually gets pretty big before you put anything else on top. I think that's really cool. I do not like the use of the light gray pins for the nose and the arms. I think they could just kind of stand out just a little bit, but also it makes it difficult to keep the nose in a fixed position just because that gray pin is supposed to sort of spin around, and it's supposed to make it way easier for things to move in there, and I think they should have used a different color, maybe even a different, I don't even know, just because that piece can't really be held in with anything else. I feel like nowadays they would have used a 1x1 with the hole in the center of it, so that way they could have gotten that position right, but it still looks pretty good. I love the top hat piece. That is just a regular minifig top hat. I love the scarf with the 2x2 modified plate right there with the little bend and hole right there for any axles or pins, and I also do like the little sticks as the arm. That is pretty funny too. The center of the body is cubed off, which is pretty strange. You do have the circular bottom, the circular head, and then just a cubed body, so that's definitely odd. That's alright. The torso itself does have 2 1x1 black studs on there, so that way you can look like it has the coal for the buttons, and yeah, the carrot's pretty good. It's not an actual carrot piece, it's just one of these orange spikes, so that's fine. And again, another minifig hat as a top hat, and that just works perfectly as well. It's actually pretty flush with the head as well. Next up, we have a side build, just a very simple table with 2 coffee cups and 2 1x1 studs on top that are actually the tiles that have just the cookie print. I think that's a very well used piece. I think that they use this in a lot of sets, especially Friends, whenever you have like the bakeries and stuff like that, and City as well. Next up, we have the Snowball mound. I think this is my second favorite part of the whole set. I love the way that those 1x2 curved plates are stacked on top of each other like that. I think it looks really, really good. You make a really good snow fort that way. I know people do that all the time in mocks, and you can even bend those pieces all the way into a wheel, which is really cool. So I think that that's a good use of that piece. And then you've got some really good tiling at the top, as well as some different slopes that give off the illusion of ice. And I like the little flagpole that's sticking out of the back of it. That's pretty funny too. And on the right side, you do have a bucket that is just sitting on one of these loose pin pieces that does use the light gray, because it's attached to 2 1x2 bricks with the modified pins on the side. So you can actually take this and flip that, but the snowballs will come flying out. I didn't want to do it too bad just because I don't want to lose those snowballs, and it does also come with a tree as a side build. I was going to include it with the table, but I thought this would just look better here, so it just is a very small one of these green trees. Up next, we have the best part of the build, and that would be the sled hill. I love this. This is so cool. I'm actually going to show you the play feature here because it is just really simple, but it also works really well. There's this pin back here that you can see, and you can actually push this, and he goes down the sled. That is awesome. You can have either minifig do that, and it's literally just because when it pushes this out, you have these 2 inverted tiles on the bottom here for the sled, and actually when you set it down, it will kind of bounce back and forth which is awesome, and you can just have him slide down because it is tile against tile, so it slides super smoothly and it works really, really well. For the sled itself, I actually do really like this sled. It's very simple. All there is just 1x2 plate section on the back. It's a 2x4 plate underneath, but the rest of it's covered. But the 2x2 or the 1x2 section has the ability to have 1 minifig stand on there, and it kind of evens out the whole build. And then you do have a bucket of snowballs as well. That's what that little orange bucket is. For the mini minifigs in this set. We have 2, and she is promptly named Girl. The other one is named Boy. There are no names on this one, so if you want to use your imagination, give them names. That would be awesome, but if not, then you just got Girl and Boy. These are 2 pretty cute minifigs. They do use the short legs. She did come with the option to give her the skis and the ski poles, so that's pretty cool. I love the use of that bright blue, and then the orange for the scarf. I think this is a good juxtaposition of different colors. I love the contrast there. And then her hair is just in the braided ponytail, which is always a good piece to get. The only downfall is that usually you can't have anything on the neck or the back if you do use the hairpiece, but this one works pretty well with the actual scarf. And then she just has a big old smile on the front of her face. I do not think that either of them, she does have an alternate face, and that is just a closed eye smile, and that is pretty cute. That is perfect for what they're doing outside. Up next, we do have Boy, and Boy just has some plain short legs. I love that olive green puffer jacket. That is really cool. I think that the printing is very simple, but it gets across the point that it is a puffer jacket, and I love that hat, that fluffy hat that's been being used for a while now. I think all the way back in City is when that first came out, but it is so good. This is just using a generic face, so it's just the little boy face with the freckles. This is actually going to be interchanged for boy or girl, which is a pretty cool detail. I don't believe that this face also, this face does not have any sort of back printing, so it is just that front face with the big smile. But no, I really like both of these figs. I think that they're both perfect for the occasion, and if you have any other figs that you want to be part of this snowball fight, you can honestly just add them in. LEGO is no stranger to doing sets like this where you do have a bunch of small side builds and a ton of different details packed into a very small set, usually a gift with purchase. Pretty sure this was just one of these very small holiday sets that came out, and it was really cool at the time. I think the little table is probably my favorite with the little coffee cups and the cookies sitting on there, and the sled hill is just so good. Anyways, that is going to be all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.